Hi everyone, this video is for English 104 and this is module 6 already in the semester. So let's take a look at what we've got going this week. Task list, as always, start there, read the assigned pages to give you some background. You'll notice there's both textbooks listed this week. And then just a quick note, in resources, these are informational pages, so you may find multiple links within those pages. I'm going to come back to that in just a second. So there are two major items for you this week. The first one is, as every week, a discussion forum. As always, its posting is due by Wednesdays, 11:59 p.m. And then your replies are due by Sundays, 11:59 p.m. So in this particular one, you are going to need to go back and do some review before you post. So if you notice right here, we do give you a hot link. It's also, if you want to go old school, you can go, it's in module 6. So it's the MLA Works Cited Entries page, which means it's an information page. It has multiple links on it. You can go old school on the left and click into module 4 and do it. Or if you click that link, it will take you right there. So what we want you to do is go through, review these sources one more time. There's Purdue OWL, the online ML, and remember that's a link. It's going to take you to the website. And then Saginaw Valley MLA Night site is another one. Okay, so we give you three resources. Now these videos are just kind of information on those sources of how to manipulate, how to use them, and maybe some key areas of it. But these three sources are the ones we want you to review. So in your forum, sorry, I got to get back there again. In your forum, when you click on that, that's where it's taking you, just so you know. So you need to review them, pay particular attention to those three that I just showed you, maybe take notes about what you liked, what you didn't like about each of those sources. And so then that prepares you for your posting. In your posting, remember, minimum of 7 sentences, 7 gets you the C. Here are 3 things we want you to address. So out of those resources on that page, which did you find easiest to use, and then say why? Of those same resources, which of them did you dislike or maybe just not like as much as the others, and why? And then some resources, you can talk about some on your own. So look for some, and this is okay to Google it at this point, or even if you have prior knowledge of something, that's fine. But what you need to do is, what resources outside of what was given to you on that page would you recommend a classmate look at, and why? So maybe you already know of a source that you like to use in regards to these type of citations. Maybe you have prior knowledge that helps you, maybe a mnemonic or something that helps you remember. It does need to be related, obviously, for resourcing and works cited. So, but there's lots of them out there. So what we want you to do is search, explore, find some other ones besides what we have, those 3 that we have provided for you, and then recommend them, and then why. And then of course, reply to 2 other classmates. So that's the discussion forum this week. The other activity assignment is a web sources worksheet. Now, the web sources worksheet, you are going to need to download. So you click into it and then you open it up, and you need to complete this fully. You just enable editing. It is an interactive document. So essentially, you need to go find 2 sources on the web, that means on the internet, that you are going to evaluate for credibility and a bunch of other things. So you need to fill this out completely. So, you know, your name on the worksheet, and then web source number 1, all the information. And then you're going to do it again for web source number 2. I do want to really point out to you that you need this completed. Do not leave anything blank if at all possible. So the name of the website, you do need the official name of the website. You might have to look for it. On top of, then I want the URL, and that needs to be a working URL. That needs to link me directly to the source that you are evaluating. And then here, briefly describe how did you find it? And I want you to tell me specifically what search engine you use or what you did to find this particular website. So then, of course, find the author of the website. Authors of web information can either be an individual. Sometimes a website is an individual. Quite often it's a company or an organization. Remember, you are looking at items on the web, on the internet, okay? So you check which is the owner of the website, owner, author of the website. So out of all these choices, which is it going to be? I couldn't tell, or the author is, and then you tell me who the author is, okay? So then number two, once you find that, okay, is that a company? Is it an academic institution, a government agency? Okay, you choose which it is. And then, of course, what are qualifications of the author that created that website? So again, you couldn't find the information, or you tell me what the qualifications are. So on this one, just so you know, for example, maybe it is an institution and it's an academic institution. Well, that would be the qualification. It's an academic institution. That would be leaning toward, okay. So for example, our own college website, SMC, the author is the college of it. It is an institution, and the qualification of the institution, it's an academic institution, okay? And so in this section, I want to really kind of caution you. I do not look well upon something that is, I couldn't tell. This is a bit of a red flag. And why it's a red flag is you are looking for credibility, you're evaluating. So you have to kind of think, is this going to be a credible source that I can use? The purpose of doing this activities is so that you build and you have two sources from websites that you'll be able to use within your essay. So if you can't really tell, it may be something that, well, maybe I shouldn't use it. You know, you can't really verify credibility if you cannot tell who the author. And remember, author is not always a person. It could be company, institution, organization, okay? Purpose and content. What is the purpose? Choose what the purpose is. Second, hey, is this objective, fact-based, or is it biased, which means it's subjective or opinionated? Now, I do want to caution you, a lot of students won't check bias or they think they can't use the information if it's biased. You can. You just need to be aware of it, and how are you addressing it within your essay. So if it is biased, I mean, there can be good information found on biased sites. The trick is knowing it's biased, and then of course, how is it supported? So it's well supported. That's probably a pretty good one you can use, particularly if it's a counter argument. And if it's not well supported, well, then you may want to really rethink that. And anyways, you're going to check that. The site should provide the copyright for the web page. Again, you look for that down at the bottom of usually the main page. Publication dates, that kind of a thing. Were there links broken? Relevance. Okay, so in this particular one, is it relevant to your research essay topic? And which of the questions does it help answer? So I have some issues if you're going to choose no. The reason being is, as I said before, the purpose of this is for you to get two sources. It's not just for you to go through the motions. So take time on the web and be looking until you find two that you're like, oh yeah, these have good potential. I can use these. As I said, when you check no, that's a bit of a red flag for me. And then overall evaluation. After careful evaluation, do you believe this is a credible and trustworthy website? And then I want you to do a correct works cited entry for that source. So construct it. Feel free to use Night Site or Purdue Owl or whatever other support that you need to do that. I'm going to give you a huge word of caution here. Lots and lots of you had incorrect, actually, I don't know if it was this class or another class. Sorry, it might have been my 103. On the last submission, there were incorrect works cited entries. And it was clear you used a generator, but you did not use night sight because they did not format an MLA 8. So not all generators are created equal. Even Microsoft Office Word generator is not does not do it correctly all the time. And quite often when you're using a commercial generator, you are going to have errors. So take the time, do it correctly on night sight, look it up on Purdue OWL, make sure the format is correct. Also, feel free to work with a consultant on this. No problem. But you want to construct a works cited entry correct here, because here's the other part of this. Do it correct here. Hey, you've got one done. And then you can just copy paste when it comes time for your annotated bib. Sorry about that. So you can do all that again for another website or web source. Okay. So you have to do it for 2 of them. Now, let's take a look at some resources. Our resources, we have quite a few things embedded. So we have different types of sources. So we talk about this if it's a video that you might have found on a website, okay, versus scholarly sources. And we actually have some types of sources here for you to review these. So difference between scholarly, popular, trade, okay. Again, none of these are negative or bad, but it is important that you identify the type of source, okay? I will give you a heads up. It's always nice if it's scholarly that one of your requirements is you have to have a minimum of scholarly sources on this. So, you know, just kind of get ahead of the game and look for scholarly, but they don't all have to be scholarly. So then how are you evaluating your sources? This is a cute little schmoop video. Tells you the purpose of why you evaluate. It also gives you the CRAP test, elements of it. This particular table, you're looking for currency, reliability, authority, purpose, or point of view. This helps you determine validity and the credibility of if you should use that source. But the video is just a fun little video, so watch that. That's a good resource for you. And then, of course, MLA works cited entries. These are resources for actually creating works cited entries. Now, this is also the one we're referring you to on the forum. So you definitely want to get familiar with all 3 of these sources. Now, again, we certainly recommend Night Sight. Night Sight is excellent. I would definitely recommend this. There are very few errors with Night Sight. In fact, I really don't know of any. They have a incredibly high credibility rating. However, the word of caution I'm going to give you is its output is only as good as input. So if you make a mistake on the input, that's what it's going to kick out. And what I mean by that is, you know, if you spell something wrong or you put a comma and it's not supposed to have a comma, it's going to show up. So make sure you follow the boxes and put it in correctly. The other part of that is make sure on the left side here, you are clicking MLA. And then for this particular worksheet, you are doing either the entire website or web page. Make sure you click on the appropriate one. And then you'll notice the boxes change of what you need to fill in. So I just want to kind of point that out to you. But Night Sight is certainly credible, more credible than almost any other generator you might be using. So again, here are the resources in order to help you complete these effectively. I would certainly recommend you go through the resources before you start on this week. But I do want to caution you, don't rush through this worksheet. Do a really good, very thorough job. Because it's going to pay off for you later on, because you will be allowed to use these 2 sources when you are building your annotated bibliography. So if you do a really great job and you have this all and they're credible and you're going to use them, fantastic. Now you have 2 less you have to do work for when the annotated bib comes around, which is coming quickly. So I just wanted to point those things out to you. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me. It's been lovely seeing so many of you in Zoom office hours. Do continue to use them. It's great seeing faces with names. And I wish you a week of happy writing.